Welcome to the Conversations with Cool People podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Absolute Natural Fiber Laundry Detergent. Specifically designed for athletic garments, but gentle enough to use on all fabrics. Give stains and odors the good clean fight with Absolute Natural Fiber Laundry Detergent. Absolutely safe in all washing machines. Absolutely safe on all fabrics. Absolutely effective in eliminating tough odors in all of your laundry. There's only one name in effective all-natural laundry detergent, and that's Absolute. Be clean. Absolute is available for purchase on Amazon in the link provided in the description below, and free shipping for all Amazon Prime members. This podcast is also brought to you by National Discount Merchant Services. Accept credit cards simply. Conversations with Cool People has partnered with National Discount Merchant Services to offer the guaranteed lowest rates, advanced payment technology, and 24/7 premier support 365 days out of the year. Pick a package and get started today and take your business to the next level with National Discount Merchant Services. This podcast is also brought to you by the BJJ Box. The BJJ Box is the leader in curated subscription boxes for Jiu-Jitsu athletes. Their mission is to provide grapplers of every shape, size, gender, rank, and experience level the perfect unboxing experience month after month. They make sure every box is filled with useful items that will inspire subscribers to go out and train to improve their jiu-jitsu and themselves. And right now, if you use the promo code CWCP, you will receive 10% off of your subscription box order. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe today to bjjbox.com. Support this podcast and all future episodes by subscribing and using the links provided below to support the people who support us. I want to thank you for taking your time to join us on this conversation, and we hope that you enjoy the podcast. So, all right, you ready? You ready to do this? You ready? I'm ready. What's up, man? No, you can keep it up there.
Do you like this lining inside of the gi? I've never had a gi with line.
I love it.
Dude, I got a sample of a gi that, and I don't know if I should line the whole inside or just the shoulders, which is what I have it, how I had it lined.
It depends on what you're going for, because IBJJF,
I don't care about that. I just want a nice gi.
But I mean, it's a consideration if you want people to compete in it on that level and see the gi. I mean, here's the reality.
I'm not trying to be in the gi business, man. I just want to make a gi.
Oh, just all right, like a one-off.
No, not a one-off. I mean, I'll make my own kind of gi with like things on it and technologies on it that I'm developing.
Like
but
with Darth Vader buttons.
listen, I am rethinking everything. I'm just gonna make my own crap, man. Like, I just want to make my own crap. Like, like I have that sling bag. There's good things about it. There are things that I think should be changed, and I'd just rather make it myself.
The sling bag? What are you talking about? What's a sling bag?
It's like a man purse, but instead of like wearing it like on a shoulder, like a woman hand with a hang, it goes across your shoulder. It's like a sling. Yeah. Yeah,
like a bandolier.
Yeah.
A bandolero.
Yeah, so people call it a purse. I got my
merce.
No, I got my friend's daughter who's like 3 years old or whatever, and she's like, "It's a purse." I'm sitting there having a debate with a 3-year-old.
Who won?
She thinks she won.
You had that. You still use that Datsusara, that fanny pack? You still rocking the fanny pack?
No, I went from the fanny pack to the sling bag. I was trying to encourage them to make some changes, but then I started. Then thus began the hunt for the sling bag, right? So I ordered like 2 other ones online, and then I ran them for a little bit, and they're not that expensive. They're like $20 or $15. They're like super cheap. So I like tried one, and I'm like, too big. Then I got another one, and it was too small, and the pocket layouts weren't good, and so I started kind of seeing what I wanted. Then I got the one that I got, and I love that one, but There's a couple things that could be changed about it that could be better. But the material is really good. Like, there's a lot of, it's a great starting point to go from. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like a really good starting point. I think that the pockets should open a little bit differently. I think there should be multiple zippers in one of them. I mean, just you know.
So let me ask you something. Do you have anything that's just stock? Or are you, as soon as you buy it, you're upgrading?
It's not an upgrade.
Or an alteration.
Like what? Like, what do you mean?
I'm talking about anything. Like right now, we're talking about something as simple as a bag, and you're already customizing it all out and making your little tweaks and adjustments to it.
Because if I have a better way to do it, why not do it that way?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Okay, let me ask you this. You still have a RC car collection.
Yeah.
Is there anyone of those cars that is exactly how it was when you opened the box? They're all upgraded, aren't they? Not one.
No, but that's part of the hobby. That's part of
yeah.
That is the
that's
hobby.
Not a fair,
That's okay. Nobody's car is stock. But I tell you what, they're making them better now. They're making RC cars better. They're kind of giving you the upgrades already in the kit. If there's certain well, what do I upgrade? I upgrade the crap that breaks generally. That's generally what I upgrade. Do I have some stuff that's blingy? Yeah, just because it's blingy. Yeah, sure. I used to do that. I was a lot more into that than I am now. Now, if when I do a build, I can already tell what I'm going to have to change, and what I'm not going to have to change. You know what I mean? So, and they're coming pretty complete now. So, but they're a lot more expensive than they used to be for the car. They're probably about $100-150 more now than when I first started.
A few years back.
It was a long time ago, but
I was trying to give you credit, just a couple of few years.
It was a long time ago. I think I started racing RC cars when I was like 12. So.
And we went down the drone path together. How'd you like that journey?
I liked it.
I remember that first one.
Listen,
first one I gave you, we crashed out the street.
No, that thing was dangerous, dude. That thing was dangerous.
That thing was a safety hazard.
That thing wasn't safe to fly. Like 10 feet. 10 feet is cool. And this thing was huge. This thing was like bigger than a Phantom. It was like, I'm like, there is no way that I would send this thing out. Like, because I flew that Phantom 2 that you had. And that thing was sweet. Like it hovered. Like it was that to me was a great introduction. I'm like, I didn't know that they had this kind of capability.
Right.
And that's when I started to look into it. I'm like, this is cool.
Dude.
So I just worked out a deal, so I just picked up a new one. But I had to finagle a deal.
Oh, so you're talking about the Mavic Air?
No, I didn't get a Mavic Air. I was going to get a Mavic Air, and then I came across a deal.
Oh, yeah,
So
good deal.
So I got a Mavic.
Good deal.
So I got a Mavic.
You got a Mavic?
Yeah, and I flew it today. Today was the first time I really sent it. And I sent it.
I think it has like a 4-mile range
dude,
on it, right?
It does, dude. Oh my God. Dude, I had to start bringing it back because I'm like, I'm going to run out of battery. So let me turn it around and bring it back. Clear reception. I sent it out 2,500 feet. Just.
Oh, that's some distance.
Yeah.
I mean,
not a hiccup on the video.
Really?
Not a hiccup. And the Phantom 3 that I had, it was a Phantom 3 4K. And the furthest I was ever able to send it out, and the video was jumpy because it was a Wi-Fi only connection. You could not connect through the cable. Was like 2,500 feet, 2,200 feet.
Wow,
2,500, I think, was like.
You're sketched out. Yes.
Well, not the range of the control, but the video.
The video.
You lost video.
But yeah, I mean, you need that. You need that video.
Not really. Not really, because all you really need, because there's a sub map on there, all you really need is to point it back towards the home point, and just start flying back. And eventually you'll see it, or you'll hear it. And eventually you're gonna get reception on the way back. So it's not. I've lost video. I haven't pushed it past that.
But you still have the line of sight, though, right? When you you plead the fifth. You're not gonna
plead the fifth on that. I plead the fifth. And on this Mavic, dude, let me tell you something about that line of sight is a bunch of nonsense, okay? Because the Mavic is so ridiculously thin, like the legs are thin. See, the Phantom, it's just a heftier, bigger drone.
Sure.
So you send it, and I mean, line of sight, you're probably like 2,000 feet. Like, and if you're really focused and really concentrated, because they get really, really small.
Yeah.
And it's white. The color makes a tremendous
You're talking
difference.
about your Phantom.
The Phantom, yeah.
Right.
The Mavic is a darker color. It's like a dark gray. And the legs are super thin. And the Phantom itself is really small. Or the Mavic itself is really small. So you lose line of sight really quick with those. Like even closer than the Phantom. Way closer than the Phantom. Like line of sight wise, that Mavic,
because it's just so small.
It disappears because it's not just, it's thin everywhere. It's thin this way and it's thin this way, and the legs are thin off of it. So line of sight is terrible with the Mavic, but it's got great video.
The instrumentation on it, yeah, you don't lose the video sight. So you've had the chance to fly it pretty
just once.
Oh, just once. Okay.
Today was like the first day. Earlier today was like the first day that I sent it. I flew it close, you know. There's a skate park right by where I live, so I flew it a block and then I just flew it back, you know. But I didn't get any problems with it, so I just went. I went about 200-300 feet up and just out and came back. And if I would have made that same flight, and I have made that same flight with my Phantom.
So
lots of interference, lots of video cut in and cut out, because I'm flying over all the apartments,
right.
And the Wi-Fi signals kill you because it's connected only through Wi-Fi.
Right.
So the Mavic connects through a cable.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So that makes a tremendous difference.
So you're talking about from the controller to your your
phone.
pad or phone or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, Javi, upgrade! You came up.
Dude, I finagled a deal. I got a deal.
So is it off a dealer or just like a buddy, or is this like an outlet that?
No.
I'm on the market.
No. Costco has a good deal on them right now.
Okay.
And then I finagled the deal.
Costco's always good.
Dude.
Costco's the best. I love buying from Costco.
I didn't know. When I walked in, I'm like, oh, they sell those things here?
Yeah.
They sell them like everywhere. Like, there's got to be all kinds of idiots crashing drones everywhere, dude.
Yeah, I try to avoid those. Like when I start getting the itch of purchasing a new drone, I stay away from those. I know it's out there. I know they exist. The drone failures, the drone fails. Isn't that what you said?
Yeah.
The drone crashing highlight videos.
You know, I mean, I've probably got close. Well, I'm going to start flying again here real soon. When I get off the diet, I'll start flying because right now I'm so limited, you know, time wise. But yeah, I want to go back to Big Bear. I'm going to do a lot of flying. And this thing is awesome, dude. This thing goes so far. It has like a 4-mile range. And then you can get boosters and you can push it to I think 6 miles.
Yeah, it's just pointless after that. I
mean,
it's
so pointless. No, it's so pointless that if you send that far, it won't make it back.
Right. You're going to run out of battery.
You run out of battery.
And yeah, and I think your best bet would be to know what shot you want. You program, the flight path, and then just have it come out, take shots, and come back.
No, I tell you why that's not going to work. Because by the time you do that flight path, battery's gone. Especially if you're sending it way out, and that flight path, you better have enough battery.
Yeah.
So the flight path wise, and then if you go to change the battery, the flight path goes away. I think it goes away. I'm gonna see if on this one you could save the flight paths.
That'd be great.
Because I tried to do it on my Phantom and I couldn't do it. But the software is a little bit different. They upgraded the software.
I could see that being a little dangerous. Like you think you have a certain flight path.
Flight paths have to be within line of sight. If you're gonna send it way out, you got to go off your video feed and you have to have control of the drone. I would. I mean, I'm sure people don't. That's why they get lost, and and at any point in time, it could disconnect. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
It's scary. You just kind of, after a while, you start getting confident with it. Yeah. And you'll be a little bit more ballsy, and you'll push it a little bit more. Like today was that first day for me where I was like, I'm in the middle.
And it's not yours yet, though, right? Or what?
No, it's mine.
You already got it. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't like flying over houses. I don't like flying over buildings. I don't like flying over that stuff. So today was like the first day where I went out to the foothills. So if it crashes, I'm not going to hurt anybody.
That was that 12-mile bike ride you were just telling me about.
No. I went, flew the drone, came back, had a juice, went on the bike ride.
Speaking of drones real quick, did you see this video that just posted, I think last week or earlier in the week, of some knucklehead in Vegas? He launched the drone right outside of McCarran Airport on...
It's already a bad story. It's already a bad story.
Right, on a plane taking off. The drone flew over the plane, taking off. Just like a regular Frontier
obviously
Airlines.
not an accident. He was trying to do that, or
I think he was trying to do that. He's
that
launching
is
by an airport.
So risky. Well, no. Okay, no. Me sitting there and trying to fly a drone over an airplane while the airplane is trying to take off is one thing. Me losing sight of the drone or not realizing from the angle that it's going to be that close to the airplane is another issue.
No, he meant to do it because he rotated and kept an eye on the airplane as it passed him, and then he tried to chase it down.
That is so
That's a knucklehead.
Stupid. That is so
And see, he's going to ruin it for responsible drone pilots like
I'm no
you,
dude.
me.
Look, by my house there's an airport, and I'll fly low right by. That's the thing. That's why I like to go away from everybody when I go fly my drone.
Yeah.
Because if it falls, I don't want to hurt anybody.
Right. And also, it's pretty therapeutic, right? I equate it to like it's the modern day flying a kite. It's like it takes your concentration.
Yeah.
You need to concentrate. You need to focus on the task at hand. It's meditative.
And I was kind of like setting it up today, and it takes a minute. Like people just don't think it's not just turn it on and go up. It's you got to load your phone into the device. You have to. Take the gimbal cover off. You got to open the legs. And there's a set of process for the fan. You got to put the propellers on.
There's a system.
There's a system. You got to take the gimbal guard off. So it's not as easy as just throw it down and fly. I mean, it takes you 5 to 10 minutes to wait for the satellites to find the drone. The drone has to boot. The remote has to boot. So it's a bit of a process. You got to when you get it up. Do you have a GPS lock? Or are you flying, just on your own?
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and you got to know what your instruments are telling you. So it takes a little bit of know-how, a lot more. And the learning curve is, it took me a little bit of time. Now I'm getting, I have over 250 flights. So that's a little bit. So, and I've done some dumb things and, and I try to, be responsible because you just overlooked certain things and luckily I only flew it into one tree. And that was like the first, it was like the second or third flight I did it. I thought I was above the trees. So now I actually look at and see. That's how I learned what the height,
altitude.
the altitude was.
Altitude, yep.
That's how I learned. I flew it into a tree. I was trying to take a panoramic of the pool area, and I was looking at the drone. I was looking at the pool, but I didn't see the tree because I flew it in sideways. First thing I do now is I get to a certain height, and then I know I'm safe. So it's a learning. And I did no damage, like 0 damage. So it was awesome.
Oh man, that's fortunate. And we I think we spent the last 15 minutes geeking out on drones.
Okay, you can just fast forward past that part.
We geeked out on drones, but a couple times you mentioned like the meat of what I wanted to talk to you about, which you said once you're done juicing. Anyone who doesn't know, what's your story? Tell the story of what your juicing is all about.
So I got diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer in June of last year, 2017. So had surgery in July, and they cut like a foot of my colon, and so now you're like a cancer patient. So the typical American recovery for that is you do some chemo, you change your diet a little bit, and hope it doesn't come back.
Well, backing up a little, how did you discover that you had cancer?
So I was getting
East Coast,
I
right?
was traveling. Yeah, I was traveling. It just seemed like every time I would go to the East Coast, for whatever reason, it might be the pressurization of the plant. I was just I would just get this crazy abdominal pain, and it happened on 2 different trips. And one of the 2 trips, I actually had to end up stopping the seminar like maybe 10 or 15 minutes early. It was just brutal. And I ended up getting back home. I'm like, man, maybe it was the trips, maybe it was the sushi. Like, I don't know what it was. I just felt crazy abdominal pain.
And it was crazy. You would feel better once you got home?
I'd get home, I'd go to the restroom, and I'm okay, cool. But because when I'm traveling, I don't have a normal routine, and because because of the travel day, because of the time difference, especially when I was going to the East Coast, the 3-hour time difference, my body just wasn't in sync. It wasn't used to its normal routine, so I just wouldn't really realize it, but I wasn't going to the restroom. Like, it's just... because when I go on these trips, it's not a whole lot of play. It was work. I'd get there, I'd teach, I'd go to sleep, I'd wake up in the morning, go drive somewhere, go teach again. So it was very much a business trip, and that's something I definitely want to change now from now on. To where I actually spend time with my friends a little bit and enjoy the trip, and I have a whole idea of how I want to do my seminars now. So.
And these are jiu-jitsu seminars to where you're very active. You're rolling with everyone. You're hands-on.
I'm hands-on, right? So I would come back. I was coming back from these trips, just dying, and then it happened when I wasn't on a trip. So just kind of the same symptoms, same everything, and then I realized it. Then I'm like, man, I haven't, gone, and it turned out that it was constipation, which I didn't know what constipation. I'd never experienced it, or I didn't think I had, but I had. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, this time it was just plugged. And I ended up going to the emergency room, and I ended up clearing the pipes, which was an experience in and of itself because I was so backed up. It was like 4 days or something. And again, I wasn't thinking about it. I had other problems on my mind. So, but it was just too much. The pain was just excruciating. I was sitting in a chair just hunched over. So they clear the pipes, and I'm like, cool, can I go home? They're like, nope. They're like, we got to see what happened. I'm like, that's a great idea. That's why you're the doctor. So I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's figure that out. So they go in there and they took some pictures, and they wanted to keep me overnight for observation because apparently that wasn't normal. And I'm just kind of sitting there, and they're like, yeah, we found a tumor. And I'm like, completely kind of caught off guard. I'm like, really? And they're like, I'm like, okay. And I see the doctor still looking at me, and she goes, and we think it's cancer. And that right there, I went, come on, let's get real. You know what I mean? That's not possible. Mm-hmm. So I thought for sure that it was a tumor, right? Because she showed me the pictures. I thought for sure that it wasn't going to be cancer. I had no history, I was a vegan. But then I realized I was actually eating a lot of processed food, but pretty much 95% I was a vegan, right? My age, I was there. She's like, you are the 0.01. 99.9% of guys that look like you, that have your kind of lifestyle, that eat like you, don't get it. You got it.
Yeah, why couldn't that be a lottery ticket?
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, there was a cause. There's definitely a red flag. So, that being said, they sent what do they call that? The
biopsy.
Biopsy. Yeah, they sent the biopsy. So that was I believe that was a Saturday. Yeah, Friday into Saturday, and then I ended up going home Sunday or Monday. I was in the hospital overnight, and I think it was a Monday. So I think Saturday I went into the emergency room. I stayed from Saturday to Sunday, and then Sunday I went home, and then Monday I got the results. Right? She goes, "It's cancer," and I was like, "Well, okay, okay. So so what are we doing? What has to happen?" They're like, "Well, you have to have surgery." I'm like, "Okay, cool." I have surgery, you got it all out? Yeah, okay, so now what? She goes, well, now you got to do chemo. I'm like, chemo? And that right there, I was like, are you for real? Like, I'm going to have chemo? Like, for real? They're like, it got into your lymph nodes. It was stage 3 cancer.
Whoa.
It was stage 3 cancer.
That's when it's really bad.
Yeah, I had it for a while. I didn't understand what my body was telling me. I knew there was something wrong. Physically, when I would train, I was telling you earlier, I felt stuck in 4th gear. Mm-hmm. The Gary Tonin match, I couldn't. I felt like I was stuck in 4th. Like I didn't have another gear. I couldn't explain it. I could just tell that there was something wrong.
Were you thinking maybe it was your age at this point?
Yeah, I thought it was my age.
Age is catching up to you.
Yeah, my age, or these young guys, whatever, you know.
Sure.
My mind was sharp. My jiu-jitsu was sharp. But I felt off. I felt off when I went to New York. I got a chance to train with Eddie Cummings a little bit. And, man, I just felt terrible. Like, I just felt terrible. I felt off. Like, there's something not right. So, in 2010-ish, I was having issues, like same kind of thing. Like I felt stuck. So I don't think it was from way back then that I had it, but something was definitely not right.
Were you still fighting professionally?
Yeah. So I started looking into nutrition. I started looking into altering diets, and I came across the Gerson Therapy, which is what I ended up doing to cure the cancer.
Instead of chemo, right?
Instead of chemo.
Mm-hmm.
So I came across the Gerson Therapy, and I'm like, cool, like they found the cure for cancer. I'm like, why doesn't anybody know about it? Well, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why people don't know about it. So, the Food and Drug Administration work together, and the food is poisoning you, and the drug company is happy to be there to sell you.
Hey, we got you something.
So what?
We got a pill for that.
Yeah, we got a pill for that. Yeah, but that's not. It's just like the jiu-jitsu, right? Mm-hmm. Those are surface problems that aren't root. Yeah, those are the symptoms, but that's not what's causing the problem. What's causing the problem is the American diet. So the American diet's what's the problem. So like when I started doing the Gerson Therapy and I had to go through my fridge and my cupboards and figure out what I can eat, I literally could eat nothing out of my cupboard.
Wow, and this is
nothing out of my fridge and nothing in the freezer.
And you ate clean.
And I ate quote unquote clean, but it was all processed. Mm-hmm. It was all processed. So this diet and this experience has completely changed my idea of what we're supposed to eat. I don't shop anywhere other than the produce section. That is what I eat. No crackers, no pizza, no cheese, nothing. Nothing that's processed, I eat. Nothing.
Now, was that a difficult transition for you? And did you have like little cheats that you would do to help you with the transition?
No, I didn't cheat. I don't cheat.
Well, I'm sorry, not necessarily a cheat, but did you find your healthy equivalent? Like, okay, I want to snack on chips, but I can't have chips, so I'm going to have these almonds. Yeah, dates.
No, I couldn't have almonds. No oil. No cashews. No beans. No legumes. Dude, it was like vegetables. That's it. And fruits. I can have as many fruits as I want. So I have a love affair with pears now because I had this vegan shake. That's the only thing that's processed that I eat. It's an all vegan Good Earth or something Earth.
Okay.
Because it's really good. I do.
Is it a shake mix or something?
Yeah. It's God, what is the name of that brand? Anyways, it's like a vegan brand.
Gardein?
No, it's not. No, it's not Gardein. The Gardein does make good stuff, but it's way processed. So, but they do make. Dude, there's a place called Citrus Kitchen right here in Rancho. Dude. It tastes like chicken, and it's a Gardein chicken that they have. It tastes.
Gardein's good,
dude. It was unbelievable. I went to the guy. I'm like, "Is this real chicken?" They're like, "No, it's soy." I'm like, "Wow, that is crazy."
But you can't have it anymore.
Not right now. Not right now. Listen. So, yeah, I can get to that. Like, what is my diet going to be like after?
All right.
So
you made the decision. I'm going with Gerson.
Well, no. Well, the decision was a fairly easy decision for me because I like common sense. Okay, so when I met with my doctor and I go, okay, what are the odds? What's happening here? I get on chemo because they wanted to put me on chemo for 6 months. And I knew that was going to jack me up. That chemo was going to jack me up. Oh, it's a very low dosage, this guy. This guy, the same guy that told me, you're committing suicide. That's what he told me. My doctor told me, you are committing suicide by not doing what I'm telling you. And I'm like, look, bro, I'll roll the dice. I said, we'll see. That's what I told him. I said, we'll see. It made no sense for me to poison my body for 6 months. And how the hell am I going to teach going through chemo? How am I going to live? So I'm like, okay, this seems like a really bad choice. I go, what are the numbers, doc? 80, 90% that it's not going to come back? He's like, no, 40. And I'm like, what? I'm like, 40% that we're not going to get it and 60% that there's a chance it's going to come back? And these are my best odds? I said, no way. That is impossible. So I already knew about the Gerson Therapy. I didn't understand. I didn't understand the level, bro. This diet, this lifestyle, this therapy that I'm on is by far the most restrictive, difficult diet to follow on planet Earth. There is no question about that for me.
When you pretty much denied the chemo part, and you kind of rebuked his 40%, all that stuff, and because you knew otherwise, or at least you're going to go out on your shield.
I'm going to go out on my shield.
That's right.
That's exactly.
That's
my
right.
mom was against it. My mom is in the medical field. She's a respiratory therapist. She's been a respiratory therapist like 40 years or something. No, not 40, but like 30, 35 years. Long enough, right? And she was like distraught. And I told her, Mom, first of all, there's nothing you can tell me that's going to change my mind on the decision I'm going to make. Okay, that's the first thing. You need to understand that I have studied and I've done the research and I'm making the best decision. Trust me on that. And she's just kind of like, it's your life.
Takes faith, yeah.
I said, it's your life. I said, it made no sense to me to poison my body to hope that it recovers. And I was going to adjust my diet anyways while I was on chemo. And then I realized that I don't have to do chemo at all. So I contacted the Gerson Institute. What they do is they set you up with a doctor, and then you work with somebody under that doctor. So that my girl is Sarah. So I think I speak with Sarah tomorrow. I think I have a meeting with Sarah tomorrow. And Sarah is like my contact, right? Any problems I'm having, any reactions that I'm having, I talk to Sarah. So Sarah is my savior because I had 4 months. My hands were cracking to the point of bleeding.
What? Explain
that. My hands were so dry.
Oh, the skin.
So dry because I was washing it. Apparently another thing that I didn't get the news flash on is if you wash dishes all day long. I do 12 juices a day. Now my sister does do some, but I do a lot of them, okay? And there's days where she doesn't come in where I do all of them, right? And washing your hands as much as I do, and I use distilled water, and the difference between the water that comes out of the tap and the distilled water that I wash my hands with when my hands are cracking, the feeling when I would wash my hands in the tap water, it would burn, and then I would rinse them off in the distilled water, and it would soothe. It was crazy. So I try to not touch. So now I wear gloves. I know this sounds crazy, but I didn't even think about wearing gloves. I didn't consider wearing gloves. I saw it like pansy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But when my hands started to crack so bad, it was I couldn't sleep. I literally was I go, Sarah, you got to help me here, hon. You got to help me. My hands, I can't sleep. She goes, put castor oil on your hands, because I do castor oil treatments as well. Mm-hmm. It's part of the therapy. And put them in rubber gloves overnight. So I was doing that. I did that for like a month. And she goes, and then I'm like, Sarah, my hands. And she finally tells me, did you get the vegetable glycerin? I go, no, I did not. This is Sarah. So I'm thinking, whatever, dude. I told my sister, please order me some of this stuff, whatever, vegetable glycerin. Let me tell you something about this stuff. It's like magic.
Yeah, that's like a Neutrogena or something.
It's like vegetable glycerin as a lotion is like magic. It's the second that I put the stuff on my hands,
you hear the choir.
Why couldn't I put Vaseline or some other no chemicals on my body? Couldn't do it. No oil. Couldn't do anything. Couldn't do anything. So, I mean, it was like when I put that glycerin on, man, the first time, and I felt that relief, I was like, oh my God. It was the craziest thing, dude, because like when you're in pain and something takes the pain away that quickly, it's like, dude, it's like Jesus coming down or something, dude. I mean, like, no joke, man. It's like, oh my God. It was such a drastic difference. And now it's like, dude, my hands are like back to normal. Oh my God.
Yeah, they look very moisturized and supple.
Dude, I mean, and they're a little bit dry. I've been a little bit skimpy on it, but like one drop, you just kind of rub it, done.
Okay, so speaking with Javier Showtime Vazquez, former UFC fighter, diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer. You're battling. Last year. This was August. This was August, right?
No, this was, July I had surgery.
Oh, no. So you were
July
diagnosed.
July 25th, so I was in June.
So diagnosed June 2017, stage 3 colon cancer. You had surgery, had it removed. You pretty much gave the finger to chemotherapy.
Yeah, pretty
so
much.
now you're on the path of the Gerson Therapy. You just to recap, you contacted the Gerson Institute.
Yep.
They assigned you a physician,
Yep.
Sarah. She's like your little Gerson angel.
Yeah.
So
right.
knowing how you are, you're a very systematic, meticulous person.
Oh my God, this diet is something out of this world, bro.
Yeah, your jiu-jitsu has systems.
Yeah.
We were mentioning it earlier. You have the SCS.
You know what was funny? I listened to John Danaher speak, right? And he's a brilliant guy. And I've met John a couple of times. He's a really nice guy, a very pleasant guy. And I'm listening to him speak. I didn't get too in depth with him technically or anything like that, but I listened to him speak, and I get a text message from my student. They're like, "This guy is very similar to the way you think, very systematic." Like I've been teaching systems for years. I've been teaching the back attack system, and he just so happened that he had a bunch of really talented guys that worked hard. He's an amazing coach, and what caught my attention was what they were doing with leg locks, which the approach that he was using, I picked up on pretty quickly. I understood kind of the idea of what he was doing just by watching what they were doing and their demeanor and the positions and stuff. And then so then what I did was I kind of revisited leg locks and kind of using that kind of same concept. Like he says something that's very profound and it's incredibly true. He says, when you give somebody a perspective, it changes everything. So he gave me a perspective. Just by observing, you can get perspectives in different ways. I was fortunate enough to have enough experience that just by observing, I picked it up. I knew what they were doing, and then I started to experiment with it and play with it. And it works pretty well.
Well, yeah, and you brought that perspective into this bout with your cancer recovery,
very much.
To where you're very systematic, which it plays into your personality. I mean, that's kind of how you think anyway, but now, as you just stated, you have this different perspective, this different way of approaching, but still using systems. You created your own system within the system with the Gerson Therapy. So what was that like? I'm sure there's trial and error going on there.
Yes, yeah. So the Gerson Therapy is a system. It is absolutely systemized. The problem is you just can't turn it on. So now that I understand what nutrition is and how to really eat, I'll just eat this way. It's just easier. That problem is solved. That problem is solved. I don't have to worry about that problem anymore.
So walk us through day one. Day one, Javi Vazquez on the Gerson Therapy. You wake up.
Okay, so day one, I have to take vitals, right? So have a blood pressure machine. My Apple Watch keeps my heart rate. But I do, the blood pressure does heart rate. It does, what does it do? It does heart rate, blood pressure, and one other thing. Then I have a sleep app, so it tracks my sleeping. I got to take my temperature and my weight. So every morning, that's what we start off with. Do you want to know what it was day one?
Well, I kind of want to know what I'm trying to get at is how you were learning the system, getting used to this new life, and then the changes you made to where you are today.
Let me do it. Let me explain it to you. I think I know what you want, so let me explain it to you the way it is in my mind.
Identifying the problems.
Right. So you can't just get on the therapy, okay? The therapy consists of juicing, enemas, and supplementation. So there's 3 distinct things that have to happen. Now, within those things, there are inherent problems and inherent things that have to get done, right? So the first thing that you start off with is juices. So I think I was doing initially like 2 to 4 juices a day. The juices that I was doing just randomly, just kind of getting used to the machine, getting used to the process, getting used to like the whole thing. And I did that for about 2 or 3 weeks where I started to do the juices. And the juices slowly over time got built more and more until we are at this current process. If they told me 12 on day 1, no way. Impossible. Because it's almost like you have to slow start everything. So the first part was the juices. The second part, that's when my sister came in. She started doing the food. Let me tell you something about the cookbooks that they give you. They're terrible. They're absolutely terrible. My sister was doing she's a great cook, and she was doing her absolute best, following the recipes to a T, and it tasted like crap. So, and there were certain vegetables that I hated. So, like yellow squash, it's freaking terrible, no matter what you do with it. And you can't put salt or seasoning or anything. It's just the taste of that. Yeah. It's freaking terrible. So what she decided to do was blend it and use it as a sauce. So I'm still eating it. I'm not getting as high of a nutrient density out of because it's blended, and the blending process itself. That's why centrifugal users aren't that good, because they heat and then they basically kill the live enzymes within the plant. So she started blending it. I'm still getting some, not getting as much, but I'm still getting some, and it makes it like a sauce.
More palatable.
So it was way more palatable. So it like the dryness of the food became palatable. So the food came in. Then I started having a little bit of a problem because I was feeling lightheaded and I was feeling. Then you have to add the green juice. So first it's the carrot, then it's the green, then it was the food. Right? When I started doing the juices, what happens is the toxins in your body start to rotate around your bloodstream because the juices are helping your body heal and break up those toxins. So now you have all this crap floating around in your bloodstream, makes you get headaches, makes you feel lightheaded, makes you feel dizzy, makes you feel lethargic, makes you feel like crap. Then you got to start adding enemas. And level 1, I got their plastic little crap bucket with the rubber hose, which was absolutely terrible, and it was messy. It could be messy. It was just not good. So then when I upgraded that became very easy and predictable to do. So then I started doing the enemas. So I think that by the time my first check-in with Sarah, we had gotten juices, food, and like 1 enema a day. 1 enema every 2 days. And she's like, okay, you've got to get to like, I think 2 enemas a day, which was morning and night. You've got to get your supplements. So little by little, the supplements are coming in. And what the supplements do is they support your digestive process. They boost your immune system. And I believe they boost your immune system. They basically give your organs support for the healing mechanism to kick in. Because that's what you're trying to do, is kick on your body's natural healing mechanism. Right? So then the supplements, I had to sit there for 2 weeks to figure out supplements. When she gave me the supplement chart, it's ridiculous. I take so many supplements on a daily basis. It's ridiculous. I put a video on Facebook so you guys can see what it's like for me to reload the supplement box. That supplement box system, I designed it 100%. And they want me to start teaching them how I did it because it worked out so ridiculously well. My diagnosis was in June. I had surgery in July. I started a diet in August. In October, I got my first blood work clear.
Wow.
In October.
That's 3 months.
3 months. In 3 months, I got my blood work clear because I systemized the process. God was on my side. There's no question that he was there. The whole way. There's way too many coincidences, way too many things that were happening that wasn't him. But aside from that, we got the supplements, we got everything dialed in. So it took me about 2 weeks to sit there and really look at that chart of like 30 supplements that I'm taking. I'm like looking at that, I'm like, dude, How? And I'm taking them every hour. It's not like, oh, once in the morning and once at night. It's like
Every
8 o'clock,
hour.
9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Every hour I'm taking something. So I had to sit there, look at it, and figure out breakfast, lunch, and dinner were the biggest groups. I made those. And then I had green juices. And then I had the blues. The purple was a 930. And then I basically separated everything into little groups. There was some trial and error, but I got the current setup is it. It is it. The supplement setup is completely dialed.
Okay, so what are I mean, because you're still mandated to take on a certain schedule. How did you improve upon their system? What did you do? What were some of the things that you did to make it easier?
Okay. So multiple things. The systemizing of the supplements was huge. The way there's a lady online, I forget her name, I think Rousing or something like that is her name. She does a lot of good Gerson videos, and she taught my sister, because we were freezing vegetables like we were losing produce because we weren't able to store them properly. And then this lady and my sister said that the way this lady does it, she covers it and wraps it in a linen cloth, and it keeps the moisture and it keeps the frost off the vegetables, which saved a tremendous amount of produce, incredible amounts of produce. So then I started telling my sister, hey, why don't we pre-peel all the carrots? You get a bunch of carrots, we pre-peel them, and we put them in bags, weigh them and put them in bags. So we just got to grab them. And that worked out outstanding. So we did the same thing with the greens, which was a way bigger pain in the ass than the carrots and the apples.
Well, only because what I can imagine, you released a video of your carrot peeling system. You had this nice little tool.
Yeah, that's the first. I knew that peeling carrots was going to be a major problem and a major time consumption. That was the first upgrade I made, and I sent the link over to Sarah, and she goes, "This is fantastic." I'm going to.
So she never seen anything like that.
They've never, dude. I looked at it. I go, "How am I going to be able to teach, run an academy, have the kids?" And be able to run my life for the next 12. How am I going to be able to do it? I said I had to cut time, and the therapy is incredibly time intensive. So I had to cut time with supplements, cut time with the prep, with the juices, systemize the juicing process on the machine, because it's a two-step process. It's a grinder and a press. Get that dialed in. And this past week was the crown jewel, bing, on the crown. I'm doing the food prep now. So when we do soup, because we have to pull it out, take out the scooper, I said, screw that. We started buying glass Tupperware, and we make the soup, run it through the mill, put it in the Tupperware, put it away. And then I do the same thing. I do 2 days of potatoes, and I do like 5 days of salad. When my fridge is fully stocked, it's 5 days of soup, 5 days of salad, and I only like to do 2 days of meals because I want the potatoes to be fresh. So I just make potatoes every 2 days. But the vegetables, I have the vegetables pre-packed in there, and then all I do is make the potatoes every 2 days, cut the potatoes, put them in there, and then vegetables are done.
See, and this is exactly why I think, just hearing you talk and listening to you walk through this whole system, this is exactly why they approached you to start giving these seminars.
Yeah, I gotta live first. I gotta be alive to do it first. So that's the first problem. So they just said, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty much ready. And it really wasn't ready. Now it's ready. Now it is ready. Now the system is complete. Like, I've got it dialed now.
No, okay. In fact, I remember one time I was at your house. I think you just got done juicing, or you were cooking. You were prepping the food. You were about to cook. But then as soon as that was done, you're back onto the juice. It was like a constant seesaw.
Think of it this way. Each juice takes 15 minutes to prep. And it would take even longer if you had to peel the carrots and do that whole thing. It would even take longer. This is a prepped vegetable ready to go, grab it out of the fridge and start juicing. It takes about, 12 to 15 minutes, right? If I'm just cruising on the phone, screwing around, it probably takes me about 12 minutes. I can get it down to about 8 if I'm like hustling, right? So yeah, I do 12 juices at 15 minutes. That's 3 hours, dude. Ugh. That's 3 hours of prep work a day, and it's not like, I take Sundays off.
Well, the thing is, and what I'm getting confused about right now is you're saying you have all the meals prepped like 2-3 days in advance, but wasn't the timing of the freshness a factor in this whole process, or was that mainly for juices?
The juice, well, it's all freshness. I mean, soup lasts in the fridge. I mean,
Okay.
so I mean, it's 5 days max.
But you can't juice in the morning and have your juice that
you
evening.
make it, you drink it.
The juice is the one that's really.
That's the one. The
Okay.
juices. That's what I'm saying. People are like, "Are you going to stick to the diet?" I'm like, sticking to the diet is easy, and I got to have cashews and almonds and all the, and I get to have oils again. Oh my god, bread,
So are
pizza's
you
the
on
first
that?
thing. First thing that's happening is pizza.
Okay, so it
First
hasn't
thing that's happening is pizza. It has not. No, dude. I've got the rest of February
Okay.
and all of March, and if my blood work beginning of April comes out, I'm weaning off and I'm done.
Okay.
Which
so
is a huge, incredible accomplishment. Incredible. I was supposed to be on for 2 years. I'll be on 9 months.
yeah, that's what surprised me when we were talking about this earlier. Yeah, I thought you said 3, but you said 2. 2 years.
18 to 24 months was the projected duration of me having to be on the diet.
18, best case scenario.
Best case scenario
You
was
just
18,
did
and I did it.
bestest.
And I did it in half that time.
You did bestest case scenario. So
I did it on my case scenario.
Yeah, that's right.
On my timeline.
Hey, man, you might have to call this the Javi method or the Javi therapy. But
No, definitely not.
so where are you now with this whole thing?
Almost done. I've got all of February and all of March, and if my blood work maintains its stability, which it has for the past 4 months, this will be the 5th month of stability, I believe. October, November, December, January, February. This is the 5th month right now of stability. I've got 1 more to go.
Okay, one more month, and then you said April.
No, what?
February,
Yeah, it's like a
March,
month and a half. I think I maybe, yeah, I have. I believe she told me that we can start reintroducing things back into my diet in April.
So once that happens, where do you go? What do you think you've pretty much eradicated yourself from, though? Well, as far I'm sure there's going to be some carryover. Like, you know what? I don't need what I used to eat 2 years ago in my life anymore.
I don't crave anything, so it's been like a
Right.
complete,
like a cleanse.
complete cleanse. I'm happy eating this way, and I can have salt or I can have bread. I'm like, dude, like I can eat like this all day long. And still have my vegetables, and still the maintenance diet I'm going to be on is like 4 juices a day, which is like nothing.
After what you've just been through.
After 12 a day, 7 days a week, every day,
4 is
every
nothing.
hour, 4 is a joke.
You may even crave a 5th or 6th
I do, and when I do get hungry, I just go make a juice.
to make a juice.
So it's
And
not
you
an
know-
issue.
And another thing, I think the last time I saw you was your promotion. That was at the beginning of January 2018. And just upon seeing you immediately, your build, you were telling me you're about the same weight.
Yeah, about 142, 143.
You look jacked, though. I mean, no, really, Jav. You look good. Like you're lifting. Your veins are just popping out. Like you're jacked.
I feel supercharged. And I told my mom that.
That fifth gear.
And I'm
Got that gear back.
And I got my gear back, dude.
Oh, snap. So you had some pretty ambitious plans, too.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. I don't like the point rules. I don't like that nonsense.
So you're thinking about competing again?
I will compete again for
You
sure.
will
I
compete.
will. I will probably have another world championship under my belt by the time I'm done, for sure. I'm thinking about like maybe like one of these big tournaments, like the Worlds or I just hate the rules. So
But at the end
much.
of the day, it really doesn't matter. I mean, you're out on the mat
Yeah,
competing, just on a
Yeah,
competition.
and for sure I'm going to do combat jiu-jitsu, for sure. Everyone's, not everyone, but
I'm sure Ed would love to see you in it as well.
yeah, dude. I will do that, and I will definitely show people what strike-based jiu-jitsu is. There is no question that by the time, if I compete at EBI, or not EBI, in combat jiu-jitsu, people will definitely see a difference in the way I do it and then the way everybody else is doing it.
Now, I know you will not allow yourself to see it in this light, but because just of your competitive nature, you're an uber competitive guy. But I mean, I think just seeing you at that event, making it to an EBI, combat jiu-jitsu, there's such a victory about that. And because your situation is known. In fact, I think you heard on Rogan's podcast, their little fight companion that well, not little, their big fight companion that they do. I was listening to it. My friend Ron from Atlanta, he called me up. Hey man, they're talking about Javi on the fight companion.
Yeah,
it's
I
like
heard.
Joe knew your Joe knew your situation. It's like, man, if you can, hopefully this could be the first step to where you have so much work to be that is ahead of you as far as. On a pleasurable note, I heard you talking about travel more than I think I've ever heard you talk about. You're looking forward to start traveling a little and maybe unplug a bit, because that's been a difficult thing for you in the past. Like, I don't have time.
Oh, I'm going to have a lot more time now. So
there's a new lease on life for you, right?
It's very, very much. I don't feel 100% free yet, but I will have my freedom very soon. And I miss jiu-jitsu. I was so focused on other things for so many years that jiu-jitsu became a job, and it was never meant to be a job. And not that I didn't have great relationships with my students. I did, and I still do. But right now, I just can't. But I train when I can, because Sarah will absolutely kill me if I'm training every day and breaking my body down like that. She's just like, dude, like my weight will drop like way too much. So I got to kind of pick and choose. So I'm rolling like once or twice a week, and
I mean, okay, think about like 5 years ago, right, when cancer wasn't even on your horizon or anything, but like you catch a flu. Or you sprain an ankle. Or hell, you have your own stories with your knees.
Yeah, right.
Jesus. And, it's such a common thing. You get on the mat a little too soon. I mean, we love jiu-jitsu so much that it just kills us to be off the mats, right? So before you're 100% recovered from the flu, from a cold, from a knee injury, you're probably...
From cancer.
Yeah, and then that's where I'm getting at. It's like Sarah will kill you, but your instincts... I want to be on the mat. I want to push. I want to go.
I just adjusted the diet, and I try not to tell her anything. I just adjusted the diet. I talked to her. I'm like, I'm losing weight. What do I do? I eat this and that. I'm forcing myself. Dude, the way I told my sister this today. I said, there's a video on the internet. So let me start like this. So every meal has lunch and dinner has 4 elements: juice, soup, salad, and then the main course, which is potatoes and vegetables, basically, right? So there's 4 things. So initially, I could not finish the meals. Like they were I was stuffing myself, and I was stuffed, and it just wasn't working for me. Like and I wasn't finishing. And Sarah said, "You have to eat it. You have to." My sister's like, "You have to eat all of it." I'm like, "Dude, I'm stuffed. How am I going to do that?" So I made an adjustment. So what do you start off with? If you were eating soup, juice, salad, and main course, what do you start with?
The soup or the salad?
The soup or the salad, then what?
Well, the soup or the salad, but then the main course.
The main course, and then the juice along the way.
Or throughout. I'd probably
throughout,
interchange it with,
along the way.
Along the way, yeah.
Okay. There's a video online that's where I got the idea. There's a video online that a guy has a mason jar and he fills it full of rocks. He goes, "Is this full?" They go, "Yeah." So then he adds smaller rocks. "Is it full now?" "Yeah." Then he adds sand. "Is it full now?" "Yeah." Then he adds water. Think about that. You eat the bigger stuff first, and you work your way through. I would drink the soup first.
You drink the soup first?
I was drinking the soup first, and I was having a very hard time finishing the main meal.
Gotcha.
So what I do now is I eat the main meal first, the heaviest stuff first, get that to the bottom of my stomach, then the salad, which allows space for the soup to be filled in, and then the juice at the end. And now I finish every meal, and I don't feel stuffed. I systemized the intake of the food.
Yeah, you know.
But it worked. It's unbelievable, but it worked. It worked awesome.
I feel like such a jackass because as you're telling me this, I'm thinking, oh, next time I'm at a Vegas buffet, that's a good strategy.
Great strategy. You eat the soup last.
Oh man, that's great,
dude. I thought about it. Like, think about it.
Not the intention.
That
of
is jujitsu in life, right there.
Oh man,
I systemized the order of intake, man. I mean, I thought of everything. I about went crazy, James. I saw the longest I'd ever been off of a mat was like 30 days.
Driving you nuts.
Ever. And I had to do like 6 months off a mat because the incision took way longer to heal than I thought it was going to. And then it was like any weight on top of my stomach, you would still feel it. So I was like, so I didn't want to mess with anything. So I actually did what I was supposed to do, and I rested.
Yeah. What the incision? Where did they have to cut you?
It wasn't bad. It was just below my belly button. There's one that's maybe 2.5 inches or so, and then there was one below that and one on the side. The one on below the main one and the one on the side, you can't even see those. You can't even see them at all. And then the one you can see. But
so with the therapy is pretty much almost behind you. I mean, it's safe to say you're out of the one. You know what? I'm not going to jinx it. I'm not going to jinx anything. But
it's not done till it's done.
You're well into it. We'll just say you're well into it.
Yeah.
And it looks like you're going to be writing about it, or at least
I'm going to probably write a book. Yeah, I definitely need to pass this knowledge. I was put in a position of great privilege to be able to even do it from the jiu-jitsu community, and I have to, at the very least, pass on the information that I've gained from it. And if it helps people, and I am sure the Gerson Institute would love to see how I did it, because they're already asking me Sarah's already asking me, like, you got this stuff down? I'm like, I've got it down.
Dude,
all of it.
You're a big part of the evolution of that treatment right now. I mean,
think it is shocking to me that nobody came along and thought of any of the stuff that I thought of. So that's why I'm like, they have to.
Your
they have
unique
to know.
personality.
They have to know. They have to know. That's what I was thinking about. They have to have come across somebody that did something. Dude, it's way too much work. I'm like, I told Sarah, I'm like, dude, I can't believe you're prescribing it like this and people are sticking with it. Everybody quits. Everybody quits.
Man.
It is too much work.
Powerful.
It is too much work. I cut the work of the cutting of the carrots. I cut the work of the prep work of the juice. Dude, they tell you, go out and buy 25 pounds of carrots. 50 pounds of carrots a week or something like that. So we're doing that. It's like, where the hell are you going to house everything? Oh, you got to buy a second fridge. Dude, I bought a second fridge for my kids, and then the main fridge is mine. And the smaller fridge is for them because they don't need as much stuff. And you got to think of, can you afford a second fridge? Can you house a second fridge? What if you live in a tiny-ass apartment like I was living? Where the hell are you going to put a second fridge? It's not the circuitry, the electricity. It's not set up to run 2 fridges. These places are pre-built. They're set up for 1. That was another problem. I was like, oh my God. Like, you start diving into this, and it's like, dude, there's problems everywhere. Mm-hmm. So getting maximum efficiency out of your fridge is huge. Getting maximum efficiency out of your kitchen space, because the equipment is huge. Getting maximum, getting the most amount of food down you, because if you don't eat as much as they're telling you to eat, your weight starts to drop. My weight dropped, not because I wasn't eating enough, because I'm way too active. People my age don't get on this therapy. Most people don't even know about this therapy. So maybe I don't know if anybody my age has done it, and that was a pro athlete, and that is a crazy lunatic, insanely organized person like me. Apparently, I'm the one, maybe, And if I am the one that teaches people how to do this and make it to where the average person can, at the very least, do it and sustain it, and it's a manageable way to do it, and I'm cutting time and work for people, dude, that would make me ecstatic. You know what I mean? to be put in the privileged position that I was put in, and for me to maximize and capitalize on that privilege and be able to help, everyone from now on, and to spread the word on there are cures for cancer, and there are cures, and to educate people on nutrition and the pesticides and what the Food and Drug Administration are doing and what the U.S. government is doing, subsidizing the entire. And then then you start studying into veganism, and it's, well, why am I a vegan? And it's like, well, the morality of it. And for me, I was like, I love bacon. It's delicious, but and you kind of try to just keep yourself disconnected, from what's actually happening. And then when you realize that it's damaging the planet and damaging the ecosystem and damaging the rainforest, and we're destroying the planet so we can eat meat, that's where I had a problem. Cowspiracy showed that one to me. That the methane gas is what's destroying the atmosphere. That's what's causing a huge amount of the global warming, as well as transportation, the transportation sector.
But they're saying even more so
even more,
than the
because,
transportation.
And it's just it's such a disgusting industry.
It really
to
is,
where
yeah.
I have, I cannot even handle meat right now. Like wouldn't even want to. And will I eat meat again? I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Fogo de Chão is really, really good, right? You know what I mean? I mean, it is really, really good. And maybe I'll binge once a year to remember what it's like. Maybe I won't even crave it. I don't know. But, dairy, it's ridiculous. It's all bad. It's
nasty.
all bad.
Yeah.
It's all bad. And then they're telling you, they're educating kids who are like, oh, yeah, because you got to have meat on your plate. No, you don't. Like, look at me right now and tell me right now that I'm not healthy and I don't look good and I don't eat anything other than plants.
Yeah, you're jacked. Like, you looking like a bodybuilder.
I look like a freaking bodybuilder right now. And I'm not trying to brag. This was not by design. I didn't know I was going to look like this, but I just started leaning and leaning and leaning and leaning and leaning. And I'm like, oh my God, like, how crazy. And I feel good. And I feel good.
Yeah, well, I think, so the book, you were saying that you have plans. You're going to tell your story. You plan on writing your book, or you'd like to?
There's lots of things I want to do.
And the video series. A video series would be great, because earlier today when you showed me your fridge, that thing was a piece of work. The organization.
The lady that does it, on YouTube, we learned a lot from her.
Okay. Do you remember who it was?
God, it's I don't know. If you look up Gerson Therapy on YouTube, she's like a little lady, kind of with short gray hair with glasses. Like, I mean, she's like on all the videos. She does a great job. I learned a lot of stuff from her. Now, I'm the one that thought of the pre-packing and the pre-weighing and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Color coding your supplements.
Color coding the supplements.
That's
was
huge.
That
Huge.
was 100% mine. I'm sure people were peeling carrots, prepping, and doing that. I don't think that's a revolution.
Not unique to you.
That's definitely not unique to me. And if it is unique to me, I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys doing? Like, you guys just want people to be working like all day long? It's impossible, I stole the concentrate formula enema from online. Dr. Vickers that runs like the Gerson Institute in like Baja, Mexico, or Gerson Clinic, not Institute. Charlotte Gerson runs the Institute in San Diego, but he has a bunch of really good videos too. It's really an incredible. The guy Max Gerson that came up with the diet, the guy is known in the medical industry as being the greatest medical mind ever. You know what I mean? The guy was a genius, and it just so happened that he took to medicine because his daughter was sick. And so he's like, I want to cure my daughter. And she's like 95 now. And
Is that Charlotte?
Charlotte's like 95 now. And I would love to meet Charlotte. I would get emotional. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So, because if it wasn't for this,
Your second lease on life. Second lease on life.
Where would I be? So, I have to spread that word.
Yeah.
I have to spread that word.
And you're a father. You're a father.
Yeah, everything was in question. Everything was in question. I told my girls, I said, You're going to watch me do this. You're going to watch me go through this. You're going to watch me succeed. And you're going to know who your dad is at the end of this.
That's right.
You know, in 6 months, I lost it all. Almost lost all of it, including my life. And in 6 months, I got most of it back, including my health.
And the great thing is, you did it your way.
And I did it my way.
You faced this down. Hey, Mr. Vazquez, you need chemotherapy. No.
You know, I didn't like the numbers. I didn't like the numbers. And the best thing was going back and watching his face when he read that blood work.
Oh, it was the same doctor.
Same doctor went back. Yeah, 3 months later. His last phone call to me was, "You are committing suicide." Those were his exact words.
Oh, so this was the same one that read your new numbers.
The guy read my numbers, a month and a half ago. And everything is in normal range. Everything is normal. And he's just kind of like, yeah, you know, I think if I can give you some aspirin, I think I'm like, bro.
Aspirin? What are you doing?
He was completely like dismissive of everything. Oh, I can come back. Like he was telling me, like, yeah, I can come back. I'm like, dude, my body is so alkalinic, I guess you can say.
Alkaline?
Yeah. My body is so pure. My spirit as well, but my body is so pure right now that, I mean, I would be absolutely floored if I had anything in me that wasn't supposed to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I would be floored because there's no way. Not the way I feel, not the way I'm thinking, not the way my body is reacting. There's no way. I feel normal. I feel like myself again. I feel like myself, man.
Yeah, you look at, I mean, you have, you're not pregnant or anything, but you have a glow. You have a glow. You look excited, like you're about ready to make another round.
I'm almost, yeah, man. I mean, there's plenty of people that I'd love to strangle.
Yeah, you're right.
There's plenty of guys that I can have matches with that I can have some fun matches with, man. That are friends of mine. I would just do it just for giggles, you know, just for the giggles.
For the
I'd love to do one with Jeff. I don't know if Jeff's competing anymore, but I think he would. I think he would do one with me just for fun. Let's go do one. Let's go. You know.
Yeah, you have unfinished business. From the
sure, we have unfinished business. I'll sell the fight. Yeah, dude, we got this great beef.
Right. No. You guys face each other like officially on the competitive circuit. How many times you guys face each other? Twice, right?
3 times.
3 times.
Yeah.
Okay. One was the UFC Expo.
Yeah, one was at the UFC Expo.
Then
he
there
won
was
that.
an ADCC.
Yeah, I beat him there, and then I beat him.
Was another ADCC?
I had Gracie Worlds at Henry Rand, I think.
Oh. Really?
Mm-hmm. Nobody saw it, but I tapped them there too.
Oh, okay, okay. So, yeah, that's.
I'll do another one. I don't think I should have lost the one in Vegas. No way I lost that match. There's no way in hell I lost that match, but it's an L. So,
what are some new things you're looking forward to on your second lease here? You have a new academy in Rancho.
I got a new academy,
and you have a new system within your academy that you've been tinkering with.
I have. I think I absolutely feel I cracked an incredible teaching method. I think I cracked it, particularly with the kids, but it's working with everybody.
And, you know, the people watching this on video, they could see this academy is lovely. I mean, you're a little over a month in now, about a month and a half.
Yeah, we're a little over a month.
It's still shaping up, but
it's still shaping, yeah.
But as far as the bare bone,
it's not bad.
It's here.
It's not bad.
Man.
It's here.
Yeah.
We got a building, you know. So I will build the rest. But I have like a ton of memorabilia and a ton of stuff that I can hang. And
so real quick, wait. So people watching, if they could see, you're a big Star Wars geek, love it. So on the wall, first off on the let's see, that's the east wall. You have the Jiu-Jitsu lineage.
Right.
You have Maeda. You have Masters Carlos and Elio, and then Carlson, and then you're a professor,
Rodrigo,
and then you.
And then
so there's lineage, but then you look on the north wall. I believe that's north. You have Darth Vader.
Yes.
Darth Maul.
Yes.
Darth Sidious.
Yes.
Master Yoda, Obi-Wan, Luke Skywalker.
Yes.
Dude, Javi, the order is jacked up. That is not a lineage.
You are blind. Okay, so listen, if it was up to me, it would just be all Sith.
Yeah, you're.
It would be
okay.
a Sith-a-thon. Okay?
All right.
But my sister likes the rebels. So I figured, listen, we'll do some light and we'll do some rebel scum. So my sister, so I thought of lineage. So if you go from the center between Yoda,
so you have the six
Sidious,
panels. Mm-hmm.
You have Sidious, Maul, and Vader, and that's just in timeline order. I understand that Maul was not under Sidious. Vader was, but Maul was under somebody else. I forget who. And then from the other side, you have the lineage the other way, which is Yoda, who taught Obi-Wan, who taught Luke.
So you have the lowest rank on the outside.
Yes, and then
it works towards the center.
So we go from the center out on that one.
Center out,
right?
okay.
And this one goes from left
Traditional.
to right. Yeah, the traditional way. So yeah, it's not out of order. I mean, I understand that lineage-wise, it would be who did Vader didn't teach anybody. Vader was never under anybody.
No,
So the line would end with Vader, and then Sidious, and then there's another dude ahead of Sidious who.
Yeah, I can't remember his name right now.
I think it starts with a T. But anyways,
that was the general.
But nobody knows who that guy is. So I use the ones just from the movie.
Well, I bet you there's going to be a lot of Star Wars dorks next level that'll be like, oh, no, I know who that is.
Yeah, listen, I'm a Star Wars dork who has an academy that has Star Wars people on it, and I don't know. So what does that tell you?
So, yeah, if anyone comes to the academy located in beautiful Rancho Cucamonga, they will be greeted with a bunch of Star Wars memorabilia.
Yeah, and then the doors. I want to wrap the doors. The doors.
Yeah, he has Boba Fett on the doors underneath crossing lightsabers. So listen, you have a mix of Hollywood flair with the Star Wars sagas, sprinkled in here, and then you have
Stormtrooper rash.
Oh yeah, I noticed that. I noticed all your students. They have the Stormtrooper rash guards.
I thought of the pictures.
Can people get?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Can people get those online? Like if they go to your website?
No, not yet. No.
Okay.
Listen, when I get like this was the first batch, so I want to make a couple of small adjustments, right? So once I get them dialed in to the way I want them, and the quality is what I want, and everything I put out, whatever it's going to be a very good quality. I'm a very particular person when it comes to certain things, materials and presentation and packaging and stuff like that. When it's ready, it'll be ready. I got something else coming that's going to blow your mind.
Well, how can people follow you and keep up with the progress that you're making on some of your ideas? You have a website? Or is it just Facebook, social media right now?
Right now, you can YouTube, or not YouTube, you can YouTube strike-based jiu-jitsu. JV jiu-jitsu. I changed it. JV jiu-jitsu. Javier Vazquez jiu-jitsu. Just JV jiu-jitsu on Instagram. And Javier Showtime on
Facebook?
Twitter.
Oh, Twitter. Okay.
Yeah. I don't do a whole lot of Twitter, but Facebook, it's Javier Vazquez,
And then that's you on the Twitter. It's not like a publicist or anything
No.
that. That's
I got to do something with that Twitter. I don't go on Twitter very much. I prefer Instagram. I like Instagram. I like the stories. I like Facebook. Facebook,
Okay. Yeah, you're doing live.
I do Facebook Live sometimes.
I like those.
You like those?
I tune in. Yeah, keep them up. I remember you used to do like those 14-second Instagram videos. Our boy Doe right here, he was remembered those, and they were great.
If you look at the Instagram now, we're definitely gonna keep those up. But we're working some stuff. The Instagram actually looks really good. I'm actually really happy with the way the Instagram is coming out. I have somebody who's helping me with it who has a good vision. And the second he started posting it and started showing me the kind of things that he's going to post, I said, yeah, I like it. I think it looks really nice.
Yeah, your new photographer, video guy. He's good to go.
They're really good.
That guy's
they're really
good. I like how he does his videos too.
Yeah, they're really good. They're two different guys. I have two different guys. Yeah. The guy who does my videos for strike-based jiu-jitsu is one guy, and then my Instagram's another guy. But they both do a great job. So
they're solid.
I'm actually quite enjoying being
Seeing the
able to
product.
delegate a little bit and kind of sitting back and just looking at the product and adjusting what I want, so I have a clear vision and more control. That I think that is one of the things I'm going to enjoy the most is having control of what I'm putting out, like, and me being the ultimate and final say-so on the things that I do and the things that I want to do. I think that is a very liberating thing for me. It allows me to show my personality, and whether you like it or not, at least it's my personality, and and I'm real. I'm not faking anything, and I never really faked anything, but I definitely enjoy having control of my own product.
So once again, anyone who has questions for you, who wants to book a seminar with you, or finds that they want to treat, maybe someone out there has cancer themselves, and they want to treat it the way you have, or pick your brain. How do people get a hold of you?
People can get a hold of me through Facebook, definitely. Javier Vazquez on Facebook. Instagram, JV Jiu-Jitsu. You can always send an email to the Academy, JVJJ Academy at gmail.com. JV, Javier Vazquez Jiu-Jitsu, JVJJ Academy at gmail.com. And somebody will get back to you if you send something to that one. Even if you just want to send well wishes and stuff, feel free. You can send them to that email. If you guys have questions about the diet, if I don't know the answer, I can definitely pass you to somebody who will. So I definitely want to push this out there. I definitely want more people to at least research it and look into it, because it's definitely a good alternative to the nonsense that's going on with everybody else, this has to get out. The information's out there. Most people, most all of us, the American diet is poisoning us.
Right.
The American diet is poisoning us, and if you don't do something, it will kill you. Cancer rates are through the roof. Everyone's getting cancer. It's like the thing to get.
It's the thing now.
It's like the thing to get.
Right. Well, any final words or anything before we wrap this thing up?
Oh, I mean, always thank God and my newfound faith, because without that, I wouldn't have made it. There's no question I wouldn't have made it, or definitely wouldn't be in the positions I'm in today. God's wisdom and God's guidance has definitely helped, as well as His provisions. Right. My sister Naira, who basically saved my life, also, right? Because she stopped everything she was doing and just basically became my slave. Not really, but my focus is to take as much strain off of her as possible. So I started making things easier for her and coming up with systems so she would have to work less. That was one of the main objectives, was to take workload off of her. And we work well as a team. She runs the academy for me. I give her the baton, she just runs with it. I just point her in the right direction, and she takes care of the stuff for me. So it's been a very good blessing to have her around, and then my mom also, who's been helping and supporting me throughout this whole thing. Without my family through this and God through this, I don't know where I'd be. And the academy students as well. There's a lot. Man, let me tell you something about my students, man. And I get emotional when I talk about them, because what these people have done for me, sticking up for me, and sticking up for me and supporting me and helping me move twice in 6 months, right? And just the love and support and care and just nurturing that these people, like, I don't have to lift a finger around here if I don't want to, and people know that I'm always, I never take advantage of people, and I always do my due diligence and my share, right? And they're like, no, sit down, relax. I mean, they make me feel like a king. So I just thanked them the other day. Like, I think today's Friday, right? Yesterday's class. I'm like, man, thank you guys for being here, because, and I'm very grateful that they're here, and I'm very, I try to have a very good and real relationship with my guys, and now that I feel like I can actually coach and run things without any interference from anywhere, the way I want to do it, I'm seeing tremendous results. It's like I have faith in what I'm doing, and now I'm just implementing it exactly the way I want, with the attitude that I want, and it's working incredibly. The results are ridiculous. So I know I'm on the right path, and I know I'm doing, And if it wasn't for these people sticking with me and being next to me and helping me and supporting me, I mean, but I wouldn't have any of it. So I'm very grateful for the people in my life.
Well, Javi, let me say that I think your students are very lucky to have an instructor like you. Really, I mean, it's ever since my professor, once he left the country, even though we don't get to roll much, I've always considered you're my guide. You've been my guide, and beyond jiu-jitsu, beyond the mats, I'm very honored. I feel very fortunate to have a friend like you, and you're an inspiration, man. I mean, we tell your story, and especially now, it's like you're a man of character.
Wild.
It's been a ride, and you know what? Again, you faced down cancer, and you did it your way. You were going to go out on your shield, and as a man, I'm very fortunate to have a friend like you, and yeah, man, all the best to you. All the best to you, brother.
Thank you.
All right, man.
All right, guys.